Hey guys, welcome back to yet another episode of Get Corporate Ready. Now in this video, what we'll be discussing today are some of the 5 top characteristics that make you a successful candidate. Welcome back guys. For those of you that are new, my name is Bohlale Paile, and I use this platform to share tips and tricks on how you can get corporate ready. Now, a lot of you may not be aware, but how you show up for an interview or how you show up when you're meeting people or networking with people, that goes a very, very long way. And why this is important is really because the type of person that you portray yourself to be when you go for an interview, when you're at a conference, when you're networking with people and trying to really climb that corporate ladder, the kind of person you are really is either going to open doors for you or it's going to keep you stifled. And if this is the kind of information that you guys are here for, then make sure that you are hitting that subscribe button and liking this video, because that's only going to make sure that you know every single time I'm putting out a video that's really going to help you transition well and make sure that you are climbing that corporate ladder and knowing all the tips and tricks that it takes to win within your corporate career. Now, one of the first characteristics that I think is so important for you to always be mindful of is about being authentic, right? Authenticity is about really coming across as yourself in everything that you do. You staying true to who you are. I find a lot of people sometimes they go through their corporate careers and they're trying to portray this image of being someone who they think is a successful type of person, and they're not being authentic to who they are, right? And it's so easy to get caught up in this because sometimes you doubt yourself, you doubt your own abilities, and you see other people thriving, you're thinking, maybe that's what I need to be doing more of, right? Maybe I also need to act like that. Maybe I need to laugh in that manner. Maybe I need to start walking in that way, right? And you lose who you are in the whole process. And if I were to look back on my corporate career, where an environment that I thrived the most is an environment that allowed me to be Bohlale through and through, right? And sometimes environments don't necessarily allow you to be that. And there's different ways that you need to try and find and navigate how you can continue to be yourself throughout the process. Firstly, those are the types of things that you should be finding out from an interview perspective, whether the culture of the company, and I've spoken about this in one of my videos, whether the culture of the company is something that aligns to who you are and whether that's going to allow you to thrive as an individual, right? And being authentic means how you show up, your ability and freedom to be able to express your opinions where appropriate, and also just the ability to resonate with the company that you're working with, the cultures that they stand for, the values they stand for. Those things are so important because once you resonate with that and you feel aligned to it, it's very easy for you to then find that. So being authentic is so important, because the more you are yourself, the happier you are in your job. And also what it allows you to do is that it really allows you to feel in sync with who you are. Going to work is not a drag anymore. Why? Because work is an extension of who you are as well, right? It's so difficult to be in an environment where you have to constantly be against the grain of who you are, and it's exhausting, it's tiring. You come out of a long day and you just feel like, oh my goodness, like I need an evening to myself to just kind of chill, relax, get out of the work mode, right? So the more you can build the ability to be yourself in the environment that you are in, the more aligned you'll be and the more synergy you'll have with the work that you do, and the people around you will know you for who you are. And so there's no pretense and you don't have to keep up any appearances. So that is a winning formula, guys. Stay true to who you are, learn along the way, obviously know what it means to be professional and all of those other things that come with being in a corporate space, but stay true to who you are and really try and resonate with the work that you do. The second thing that I think is important, be confident, right? I think a lot of times, and I'm also going through a bit of that phase now that I've moved into a very new environment, it's so important to remind yourself that you've got the skills and the ability to do the job that you've been hired for, right? There'll be dark times, right, in your corporate journey where you feel like, oh my goodness, am I actually meant for this role? Is this something I should be doing? Have they chosen the right person, right? That imposter syndrome starts coming out. But you need to remind yourself all the time that I was hired for a reason. I've got the capabilities, and you need to learn to be confident in that, right? As you tackle something, tackle it confidently. If you get it wrong, understand that you've learned from what you've just gotten wrong, right? You've learned something new. That is a skill set that you're now going to adapt and bring into the rest of your career. So don't be afraid of falling down. Don't be afraid of learning new things, because as you acquire new skills, the more confident you are able to be in what it is you're able to produce. So trust in yourself. I think one of the things that I have to keep reminding myself of is, Bohlale, the things you know really well. The things you don't know, you're a fast learner and you'll be able to pick it up quickly, right? And so I try and not assume that people around me think that I'm not capable of this or not capable of that. It's so easy to think, oh my goodness, what are people thinking of me? Are they thinking that I'm dumb? Are they thinking I'm stupid? And you play that so much in your head that you actually start making really silly mistakes that you shouldn't be making. But because you're doubting yourself, you're also not giving the other person an opportunity to trust in your abilities. If you've ever worked with someone that doubts themselves, you doubt them eventually, because you're like, are you sure you're able to do this? Are you sure that you're going to cope? Do you need help? Do you need this? Do you need that? So you start asking them those questions because they don't look confident in their ability to do something. But there's other people that give you all the confidence possible, right? Because they're confident that they'll give it their best stab, and if they get something wrong, they'll work on it. So confidence is the second thing that I think is so important, that's going to help you really thrive and be successful within your corporate journey. So the third thing that's important is preparation. Be the kind of person that takes initiative and prepares for things, right? So if you are going in for an interview, I've preached it over and over again, preparation is absolutely key. Make sure you've prepared. Preparation is what's going to get you the job, right? But also, once you are in the corporate space, make sure you prepare for your day ahead, guys. It's such an important principle to be able to, the night before, look through what's happening tomorrow, what's coming up tomorrow. Is there anything I was meant to deliver tomorrow that I haven't finished off? Or just remind yourself each evening of, okay, this is what I did well today. This is what I need to be prepared for tomorrow. And just mentally prepare for what's coming up. What that's going to help you with is that as you start kind of going through your day, you already know that, okay, I know first thing tomorrow I've got an 8 o'clock meeting. So as you plan around what time I need to wake up and things that you need to do in the morning, you're planning around knowing there's an 8 o'clock meeting. As you know that there's particular meetings where you're going to need to contribute on something, you're ensuring that you've gone through whatever it is you need to be going through in order to start adding value in that particular meeting. Be the kind of person that's prepared mentally ahead of time. Understand the meeting you're going into, who you'll be speaking to, what's going to be expected of you, and how do I add value, right? Always ask yourself that. If you're the kind of person that doesn't plan for their day, doesn't plan for their month, doesn't plan for what goals they have for their particular career, you're never going to hit anything. If you're not aiming for anything, you're never going to hit anything, right? So you can't go aimlessly throughout your career. You need to learn to prepare ahead of time for the day coming up, for the month coming up. Have goals for yourself. That's going to be so key, and that's something I'll go through in another video separately, but always important to prepare. Fourth thing that's important is about being personable, right? It's so important that as you navigate through your corporate career, from interview stage, the importance of being personable is that you come across as someone that people want to work with, right? So when you go into an interview, you make sure that you are someone that comes there that is happy, that's smiling, that seems prepared, that is confident in their ability, right? When you come across feeling that about yourself already, you come across a lot more personable, right? And being personable is not about being extroverted. It's really just about making sure that you give off the right energy. You give off the type of energy that says, I'm here, I'm excited to be here. What are we working on today? You give off the type of energy that allows people to want to interact with you. So much of your corporate journey is really about how you make people feel along that journey, right? I've been in environments where we've worked with people that are just not pleasant to work with. And if there's anything about people that are not pleasant, is that people start tiptoeing around you, right? If there's something that I can avoid not having to go through this person with, then I'll do it, because the person is just not pleasant. So don't be the kind of person who is grumpy, the kind of person that complains a lot about a lot of different things, the kind of person that rolls their eyes around stuff, right? I've been there, I've done that myself, right? And so you need to be so aware of the energy you give off, because that's how people then respond back to you. And so if you find yourself in a space and you feel like people are not quite gelling with you, people don't really want to be around you, speak to you, work with you, whatever the case may be, question that, right? Question that within yourself. How do I come across? Am I a pleasant person to be around? And those are the things that are going to give you intel into whether you are someone that is personable, that is great at building relationships that people actually want to work with. The more people want to work with you, the more exposure you get, the more opportunities will open for you to take on bigger responsibility, more accountability for things. And that's how you start growing within your corporate career. And last but not least, one of the most important things that's important from a characteristic perspective is being someone that is flexible, right? Adaptable. You need to be someone that's not overly structured around how you go about doing your work, who you go around doing your work with. You need to be the kind of person that remains open-minded about the work you do, how you can go about doing it. Think about different ways of doing things, right? The more flexible you are within your corporate space, the more it allows you to be creative around finding new ways to be efficient, to be effective at what you are doing. And the more you bring that kind of energy into an organization, the more people appreciate the value that you are adding, right? A lot of people go into corporate spaces, and for them, they want to do things the way it's always been done, right? And then you don't actually differentiate yourself doing that. If you come into a job and you do things the way it's always been done, you're just like anyone else that's done it before you, right? And so if you want to leave a mark within your career, if you want to leave a mark within the role that you're currently in, think of ways to do things differently, right? Be flexible around how things can be done. Come up with different ways and more efficient ways of doing things. That's how you start leaving your mark, because when you leave that organization, they'll always remember you for the legacy that you are leaving in terms of what it is you've built, what it is you've come up with, how you've changed the narrative around the role that you currently do. Always look for opportunities to really be innovative, think outside of the box. And now, having gone through this COVID period, it's even more important for you to be mindful around why adaptability is important. And this pandemic has really shown us that the ability to be flexible and find different and new ways of still continuing to do your job, even though you are not in the same setup, that's what's kind of shown up people, right? Now you can see who are the people that really struggle with being adaptable and being flexible, and those that don't. And it's so important for you to know how to flex around different situations, different environments, different people. And that is what's going to help you survive in a corporate space. So if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure that you let me know in the comments below which characteristics spoke to you the most, and what is it that you are going to do to change that particular thing.